Please share the feed. Everybody share the feed.
Share.
Share the feed because what you need.
Share, like, and subscribe.
You know we've never said that? Share, like, and subscribe. I just said it.
And hit the notification bell.
Yeah. Click the little bell if you like what you're seeing.
So, right. That's so 2010. You guys got to get with the times.
Are you kidding me? Every modern YouTube video now has, regardless of what you're watching, will have the, hey, and if you like what you see, just click the like button below, share, subscribe. If you like the content, that way you can keep getting updated.
Hit the notification bell. Ding!
Well, you don't have to do any of that here.
Just share the feed.
But you could just share the feed. That would be great.
Just one step.
Muchas gracias.
Yes, if you're watching live now from wherever you are, which could be Twitch or Kick or...
Hi.
What's the other ones now? Threads.
Facebook Live, YouTube.
I don't. No one can keep up anymore.
Instagram.
Yeah. LinkedIn.
Linked out.
What? You can go live on LinkedIn?
Probably.
What?
You can go. Somebody told me. You know what somebody was telling me the other day? You can go live in real life. Did you hear about that now? It's the newest thing. All the kids are doing it. They're going live. Actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so you wake up in the morning and then you just, it's a crazy thing. So you get up and you're alive. That's it.
People don't do that anymore.
That's great technology.
Yeah,
when was this invented?
It's called living. I don't know, but I'm sure they're going to start collecting royalties for it soon.
Are they going to charge a user subscription to live?
I was going to say they'll be, they'll all be judged on monthly active users.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you for everyone coming to the Honeycomb Hideout.
Yes, thank you for coming. Or whatever your reaction was.
You guys are great. It's my dream someday. Not really. But it is kind of an experiment that I have possibly one day to have another person here on the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I think this podcast could use one more person on it.
Yeah?
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So,
something to keep in mind.
Yeah. But with podcasts, I'm here to remind everybody that we don't podcast to you. So those people that are watching us now, hopefully you figured out that it's by choice. We don't have the ability to do art and music to people. So if there are any ideas or opinions that we express on the podcast that you find offensive, intense, or emotional, we strongly recommend, as we say here in New England, to lick your mother's clam with tartar sauce.
I love how calmly you said that.
Well, yeah. In regards to the rest of our art and our wildlife images and websites, you have the responsibility to exercise the full extent of your freedom and ignore our band pages, live streams, broadcasts, music, events, and ignore our social media altogether. Our band's entire project, Sepsiss, our message, our lyrics. If you guys ever listen to lyrics anymore, I don't know if people do that. But if they listen to our lyrics, they would know that our lyrics are also in tandem with our investments, our resources, our art, and is all due to our studying and training. I know it's hard to believe. Our passion and our hard work is all designed and dedicated to encourage conversations around local music, art and expression, freedom and fairness. We are educating bands and fans about the tools and the news of what's left of modern music industry, the internet, and our economic and cultural contributions. We recognize that while we are lacking a comprehensive and recognizable music industry, there is no shortage or lack of a music business. So, this is an opinion-based program. If you have a weak stomach or you're squeamish, bounce.
Unfollow.
Yeah. Our sponsors. Well, first of all, I want to say a special shout out to our good friends at New Hampshire Guitars.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't even lying.
They are freaking awesome.
I gotta show everybody.
Yeah. And we
I
gotta
know.
tell them the story, too. New Hampshire Guitars are literally, like, the best place.
I know, I gotta take my stuff down there. I was supposed to do it today, but I got my days mixed up. I was like, oh crap, no, I have something to do today.
Well, this should inspire
So
you
tomorrow.
further. Because look at this.
Ooh.
Look at that, guys. Look at what
If
they
you guys-
did.
If you guys are familiar with the William Savant custom Wasp Nope guitar, you know that I take it very serious. These guys at New Hampshire Guitars did
That's
a great
the cleanest
job.
I've ever seen that
Yeah,
thing.
it's never been that clean.
No.
Take this inspiration and go there, Zach.
You guys got to check it out. Oh, hold on, Zach, did you go?
I got my days mixed up. I was supposed to go today. But I
Oh,
was like,
really?
oh shit, I can't because I gotta be here.
Oh, really? Man, I
Yeah.
would have
So
taken it.
I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And
They're
when you
the
go down there, you can
best.
play all the instruments.
Yeah, they have a lot. They have a whole collection. They have different amps,
Oh.
different style
Dude,
amps.
they put me on the spot, too. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
play this really nice amplifier. It was, like, quiet in there.
Uh-huh.
I really embarrassed myself by plugging in this amplifier, and it was on standby. And, of course, it kicked back at me at about 100 watts. You know what I mean?
And they hooked him up to the Ninja Booster.
The Ninja Booster.
I've never done it, but I've done it now.
The Ninja Booster.
Yeah, a New Hampshire guitar.
So get down to New Hampshire Guitars and get yourself a setup like William Savant. I mean, you guys are slacking.
I'm getting 4 setups. Nah.
He's gonna be ready for the tour season.
Did they
Oh,
just
yeah.
become a competition of the setup?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys remember a couple weeks ago when Live Nation did that huge announcement about coming to the realization that they should pay artists?
I do remember that.
Which
Yeah.
is weird.
That was big news.
Anytime artists are getting paid anything, it's big news. We're always looking on the internet. See, in the civilian world, I think lawyers and the law is always hunting down people that aren't paying, you know? Mm-hmm. But like in here in Sepsiss, we hunt down people that are paying. Anytime we ever hear of anybody that's ever paid a musician, we want to be introduced to that human being.
Mm-hmm.
So when we heard a few weeks ago that Live Nation was thinking about paying musicians, I was like, this is fucking unheard of.
Right?
So we decided to make a post. As I warned everybody that we weren't naive. You know, a lot of people had jumped in the comments and they were like, all right, Melissa, all right, William, don't be so naive. Live Nations must have something up their sleeve.
That was my first thought.
I think that most people that have been in music for more than 2 years, that was their first thought.
Smart people.
I have been starved for optimism in rock and roll for so long that I ain't gonna lie. I was hoping for something great. Oh yeah, I ate me a couple naive cookies.
Yeah?
I mean, even if it was like a temporary dream, it was short-lived, but until every single musician had pointed out to me that it was probably a fucking decoy, no lie. I was kind of like, I was optimistic. Silly me, right? But I want to point something out about that. That just goes to show you that even William Savant, that complains about the music industry all the time, I'm always pointing out, things that need adjustments, right? Mm-hmm. And here I am, ready to take the bait. You see that? You see how every dreamy, passionate musician, I talk about dreamy, passionate musicians like I'm not one or something. I think folks might forget that a lot of time, the criticism that I have for people making mistakes in the music industry, it relates to my own. I think that sometimes there's musicians out there that go, he's talking about me, you know. Or they go, that guy, you know, he thinks he knows what he's talking about, you know. That's not me. Well, it probably isn't you, and for that you can ignore me. You know, if anything I ever say here doesn't relate to you, by all means, shut the fuck up. But
they're really good at their advertising and PR because they designed it as like, go get this cash grab.
dude, they had Willie up there smoking fucking weed. That's all you needed was Willie fucking Nelson telling me to get on the road again. He's gonna smoke a fucking joint with me. I was ready to get on the bus.
Right?
They're really good at what they do. But
I'm telling you, this commercial, I'll show it to you, Melissa. Me and you would have been in the car with Willie. He'd have been driving. We'd have been smoking. Well, I would have been smoking. You would have been doing vocal warm-ups. But I digress.
On the road again?
Oh, I would have been on the road again. Over and over again.
But you didn't fall for it.
No, I didn't fall for it.
What have we learned?
I've learned to listen to my musician friends on the Sepsiss page. No, honestly, that what really made us investigate was everybody at home. All the musicians, we had made the post. I gotta say, it was kind of like a naive Melissa and William post. Naive in the sense that it was awfully transparent. We couldn't take a side on it. We're not that foolish. But like, we were just like, look at what Live Nation is doing. Let's just look at it for 2 seconds. And then we figured out within 24 hours, it was blog fucking central.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope everybody sticks around. So at least until the first part of the program, because we're going to be going over this Live Nation thing. Yeah. And so we're going to be going over this Live Nation. What?
I'm really excited to go over this Live Nation thing.
So Lexi really was the one. She really opened up a can of worms. I was just looking at it as an artist. Like,
I'm so glad I'm here.
I didn't ask any of the really big questions. All I heard was dreamy artist stuff. Like, on the road again, Weed and Willie Nelson, and someone's getting paid.
They're
And it
really
could
good
be
at what
you.
they do.
Right.
They are really good at packaging this up to make it be like, oh, go get it. Cash grab. Go get it, artists. Go, go, go. Go get the money.
Right.
Here it is.
Right. And you know me, I'm like, artists
It's
are getting
what you
paid
want.
anything? So, you know.
It's a dream come true.
Can I
This is
tell you
what you
something
always
that's
wanted.
probably going to make a lot of people sick? Man, I probably shouldn't say this. I'm going to say it anyway.
I was going to say, now you have to.
Now I'm going to say it.
Say it.
So, I hear all the time that from bands that are our size. Oh, man, here it comes. So, I hear all the time, it's a rumor. And I hear all the time in the back hallways. I hear that bands at our size don't get guarantees anymore.
Nobody
And
gets-
I'm telling you, and I also hear all the time that like bands that tour. I meant locally, bands that tour, at our size aren't getting guarantees either. They're getting told it's unheard of, and eat like big acts, and some of my friends that are in larger acts try to remind me that smaller bands don't get guarantees,
True that.
and then I tell them that we do. So if you and we don't always get them, and that's just what I want to tell everybody. You know what I mean? Like, we don't always get guarantees, but we do get them. So if you're a small band, and I tend to think of us as a really small band, and that can be depressing for other small bands that are our size. Like, put it this way: when I remind people that we are a small band, other small bands get mad at me. Because if I admit that we're small and they're our equivalent, it's harder to admit that we're in the same bracket of competition and smaller bands. If Sepsiss admits that we are indeed a smaller bands, all the other bands at our size all have to come down and be small with us.
True that.
They don't like that.
Yeah, because you're calling them small, too.
Because we are!
And they don't want to compete.
Right. And my whole thing is we are a small band, and so are they.
They don't want to admit it.
And it's just somebody that doesn't want to admit it.
I was going to say, take it from me. You don't want to be called small. It's not fun.
I love this guy.
Thank you for being here on the cast.
Stick around. We're going to unpack the Live Nation thing. I hope everybody...
I'm excited to unpack that.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
For sure. So I wanted to share this thing. It's an idea. It's a concept. And it's called funflation.
What?
Funflation.
What?
That doesn't sound very fun.
Yeah. So...
Inflation.
Hyperflation, corporate greed, and an uncertain future leave younger generations eager for experiences over ownership, driving the sale of tickets to concerts and other live events, and leading to the emergence of the latest economic buzzword, funflation.
So fun is being inflated?
Yeah. Hear me out. As millennials become the largest consumer portion of the population, the future of live music continues to look bright. You didn't expect that, did you?
No.
You did not expect that.
I was expecting something grim.
Want me to try to give? As millennials become the largest consumer portion of the population, the future of live music looks grim. Is that what you were expecting?
Yeah.
Okay. With more people interested in spending money on live experiences over the ownership of luxury items, companies like Best Buy say they've noticed a considerable lull in their business due to the so-called funflation. Huh? Go ahead and fuck somebody's mom.
It's funflation.
Funflation is the latest economic buzzword making the rounds, referring to a trend in which consumers are more inclined to shell out money for fun experiences over products typically purchased for home use, such as televisions and computers.
So is all this funflation advertising on TikTok, where it's all viral?
I think we'll learn more about that. This trend has seen a noticeable increase with the return of events like concerts and festivals, and in-theater film following the pandemic-induced shutdown of such things just a few short years ago. Taylor Swift, hold on, I gotta cover Taylor. I gotta cover Taylor. You gotta think, when anything that I cover, if it's big, it's global, Taylor Swift is attached to it. That's part of my department here.
I know, she's dominated football now, too.
You're a Swiftie.
I'm a Swiftie.
Oh, God almighty.
Yep.
So
right. See, I got respect for the swarmies, but I, as everybody knows, I am a real authentic Swiftie. I've been a Swiftie forever too, so don't try to knock me off my seat. Like how we had remember how we had some swarmies come and go and all that? I don't back the fuck down. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Some people like to be weekend warriors, I guess they call them. They'll be your fans when things are good and, record sales are high and all the rumors are in your favor. Some people will be your fan. But when you're broke or you get poison ivy or something, and people forget about you. Now, we've had fans come and go. But not the Swifties. Swifties don't come and go. Swifties are forever. So, that's why I cover so much Taylor. Those experiences are really where people are willing to pay, says Taylor Swift. Says Taylor.
of course she would know. She has an Eras tour that did a really good job. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, Best Buy reports that its revenue took a significant blow this year, falling nearly $1 billion. Wow, what a blow. In Q2 year-over-year, sales at the stores had been for at least 14 months, falling 6.2 year-over-year. Understandably, with inflation, not funflation, don't mix the two.
There's a difference.
There is. Consumers are most interested in making up for their time lost during the COVID lockdowns. So purchases like new home entertainment systems aren't on most people's radar in the current climate.
So they don't want to be home. They want to be out having some fun because they're sick and tired of being at home. I respect it.
The average ticket to a live entertainment event has risen 14% since 2019. It's a bigger increase in the cost of consumer goods under inflation. What the fuck?
Wait.
What the fuck?
So tickets are more...
Tickets are more expensive than baby wipes.
Get out!
Tickets have gone up more than downloading Fruity Loops.
What the fuck? So it's really inflated more than inflation.
Maybe I should take
That's
back
why
that.
it's funflation.
But it's not fun knowing how inflated it is.
Some people it is.
No, it's the fact that the price of fun has inflated.
Right. Unlike an equivalent inflation to, say, shaving cream. People want to have more fun, but they don't want to shave their face more.
They don't want to have good hygiene. They'd rather go see Adele.
They want a break. They want to go see Taylor. They don't care about their underarms anymore.
That explains...
Just keep that in mind when you go to see Taylor.
That explains why there's so many content creators on YouTube talking about the BO and the pits.
But I feel like if you're a Twitch content creator, who's going to be near you to smell your body parts? They're capping. I feel like they're doing... No, seriously, I feel like that's to sell products.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you ever notice, like, Twitch streamers and people, they're always selling, like, Manscaped. They're always selling, like, Sasquatch soap. Right? We're the only people that sell earplugs.
And concert tickets. Don't forget Swarmy Fest.
November 4th.
1 in 3 people surveyed, they've been surveying people, and they're surveying people from 15 to 69.
Nice.
The value of concerts and music festivals more than they did pre-pandemic. They value this. The number increases to 44% among millennials, who are also more likely to prioritize concert and festival tickets in their disposable income budget. That's terrible English, but fine. Many Americans born in the 1980s and later find themselves faced with an unsurmountable student debt and unapproachable housing market. That's because they were talked into it by their fucking dumb parents. Sorry. That is the end of that. What do you guys think? Panel! No, what do you guys think?
Bring back Warped Tour. Now's the time.
What do you think, Melissa, about that? You don't got nothing to say, do you? Just got nothing.
No sound effects or anything? Nothing? Damn.
What's interesting is that they're
Is
calling
that it?
it
That's just it?
funflation.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like...
Basically, what this is about is people are realizing they want to have a good time. But large corporations are also realizing that people want to have a good time, and they're honing in on it.
They're exploiting the fact that they've been locked up in their house forever and they want to get out of the house. They're making it harder for them to get out of the house, that they stay into the house.
Yes, Lexi. Unfortunately. That's
So they want to keep us in the house?
Well, they want to keep you spending money.
In the house.
Which could keep you in the house. I mean,
Right. I mean,
which could lead... Yes, Lexi, because I think long term, if you spend all your money, then you have to be in the house. So to answer your question, I don't know if short term... It's like the Live Nation thing, and we'll talk about that. You know, a lot of what you're seeing, a lot of what we talk about here on this program are large corporations that are hunting short term.
It's
go ahead.
making me think that, like, they're doing all this quick cash grab stuff.
Spotify's not long term.
Like,
You know?
Yeah, like, they're doing all this quick get in now, do all this now, because it's, like, something different. Something's going to be closing next year or the year after.
Let me
'Cause
show you,
it's
like...
so short term.
I'm going to show you why. Because if it's short term enough, no one can learn it. No one... You can't write laws for it.
So they can get...
Information that travels at light speed is useless information. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
Information that travels at light speed is useless information. Why? Because you have to have time to fucking think about it. Everybody knows if you're about to break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you write them a big nasty letter. You're mad at your boyfriend, you're mad at your girlfriend, they've done the unthinkable. Your girlfriend's done the unthinkable. So you're going to sit down, right, and you're going to give her a piece of your mind. And you say you pour your heart out and you say every mean and nasty thing you can say. You get it all off of your chest and you run out there impulsively. You lick the stamp and you put it in the mail. And then you wake up next morning and you realize all the shit that you just said on that piece of paper isn't true. And then she rips your heart out and stomps on it on your front porch. What have we fucking learned, man? We have learned that it's not so much about writing it all on the paper and getting your feelings out. It's not, nobody wants to prevent anybody from doing that. The only time that really became dangerous is when you impulsively put it and sealed your fate and put it in the mailbox and closed it in,
Without thinking twice.
Right, and you put some money on it, you licked the stamp, you put your money on it, you sealed it shut, and then and then you gave it to the law. You put it in the post office box.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted them to see it.
So it's too late, So that's that impulsive, anxiety, fear-based consumerism that large corporations use to hunt down dreamy rock stars.
it's also the same, those high-pressure sales situations when you're at like a car dealership or something. Like, we can give you the best deal on this car, but it has to be today because today's the end of the quarter, and if you don't, here's the contract so we can make it happen right now.
Lick the fucking stamp. Right.
Yep. Sign. Just sign. Don't think. Just sign.
Mm-hmm.
So what Spotify does to artists, Live Nation's doing to consumers?
Well, we're going to talk about that. I think there's a lot to unpack with the new Live Nation thing. But when we talk about funflation,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I think what we are talking about is corporations spending a lot of time, resources, and energy on researching psychology, collecting our data over time, stockpiling our shopping behavior, our behaviors that we spend time online, creating like a CIA criminal file, really an advertising file. I'm making a joke there, everybody. I hope everybody got that. But like the CIA, as a smart advertiser, I study my demographic, I study their behaviors, I collect their data online. I get them to participate and opt in these products by telling them that they're going to get their music out, by telling them that this is a way to sell their merch or to be an e-commerce participant, or by unlocking features of the internet. They allow me into their private and their secret lives. when I sign up for subscriptions or tools with distributors and record labels and YouTubes and everyone else, they get my credit card information. They get my tax information. They get to be a part of me, claiming, and they're part of my fiscal tax responsibilities. These people are in your fucking home for life.
Same with when they want to go to a show.
Right.
The consumer want to go to a show.
So,
Funflation.
So what the large companies do, what large tech developers do, it's not so much Spotify making music or Netflix making movies. It's about data. It's about acquisitioning data about shoppers, dude.
Yeah.
It's about acquisitioning behaviors that shoppers have over online.
Yeah.
And then creating companies that exploit that to the maximum.
Dream.
And then those companies, if they don't blow their load, you know what I mean? If they don't fail completely, they are also acquisitioned. For instance, try to hold on to me, everybody. Facebook is an acquisitional company, like Meta. Like Sony is an acquisitional company. But let's just stay here on Facebook for now. Meta is an acquisitional company, and Meta owns Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever have you. But think about it. As an acquisitional company, all of these acquisitional companies, they're hero companies. Out of any company that hero company is acquisitioned, none of those acquisitioned companies or any products that those companies have ever made ever since have been bigger than their hero companies. Try to see what I'm saying here.
They're honing in on the dream.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
They're going to burn it to the ground.
That's what I'm saying. What these companies do to artists, aren't entertainment companies doing that to the consumers.
It's not meant for long term. Plastic's meant to fail. Fuel's meant to fail.
So what I was saying earlier, this seems like this is a big cash grab because it's going to fail soon.
Cassettes are going to fail. There's only so many people on planet Earth that can carve into stone tablets before you go to papyrus. There's only so many people that can paint on papyrus. But you know what I'm saying? Before you have parchment paper.
Yep.
Before the next fad, before the next thing. There's only so many people that can Bluetooth before you hologram. That's why there's only so many people you could vinyl before you cassette. And then another 30 years of people go by.
And that's something
Nobody ever gets to really learn about or write the laws. By the time that the technology, okay, stay with me. By the time the technology has been around long enough for us to fucking learn, they change it again. Social media is not even recognizable to what it was when it was advertised to us. The music industry is not even fucking recognizable. Bro, look how many other products are like that. Before we can even figure out that vehicles and fuel and tar and plastic were bad for us, now they don't want it anymore. You can't have an FM radio station. You can't own a fucking grocery store. There's no fucking farmland. What the fuck is left? Y'all know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
It's space. It's data space. First it was farmland. Well, first it was space on the wall in the mausoleum. Then it was the farmland, dude. You know what I mean? Then it's transistors and microchips. Somewhere there's a fucking building. And in that building, there is the server and network of Google. And somewhere in that physical space, there's machines that are housing your data. And if some asshole trips over the plug, if some human flawed creature trips over the plug, it's gone.
Forever.
And I don't know why people are surprised about that, because literally everything that was before this is gone. Why does this species, why are we obsessed with the concept of everything that we have somehow being the same? Knowing everything that we've ever contributed to was advertised to us that it would be luxurious, that it would be easier, that it would be convenient, that it would be the next big thing, that it was going to solve something.
Because some people haven't woken up to to realizing that that was just mumbo jumbo just to get them to buy the couch.
Right. So years ago, before we started drilling holes in the fucking planet, someone goes, hey, you know what's a great idea? Coal. And then it wasn't. And they go, hey, you know what? Here's what we're going to do.
Well, it's like while they were drilling for coal, that's when they discovered oil.
Right. And he goes, oh, man, now, you know what? That was a terrible idea. And they go, you know what?
This lasts longer.
Right. Edison goes, you know what? Tesla's a terrible guy. He runs a bunch of advertisements against him. You know what I mean? Says he beats up his wife. Next thing you know, it's AC/DC.
Highway to hell.
I don't know if anybody got that. Lexi, it's your turn.
Okay.
I think I almost did that.
What?
That was way over.
A little bit.
So, this is live music.
This kind of goes into like what we were just saying too.
Resurgence.
Would you like a water or something? I'm gonna grab something.
Yes, please.
So, millennials and Gen Z are driving the live music resurgence as the post-pandemic music boom is poised to continue, according to reports. A UTA report, Standing Room Only, Live Music's epic resurgence, paints a rosy picture for the return of live music. The research was conducted in part with Variety, and other illustrates how millennials are driving the experiences over ownership mindset as they become the biggest buying segment of the population. So basically, millennials are, based on their research, are the biggest group of people that are spending money on tickets, going to shows, going to festivals.
Thank you.
Which is really interesting. There are around 72.1 million millennials in the United States, defined as people born from the years 1981 to 1996.
I didn't know they defined millennials as people.
Yes, millennials are human beings. They are, in fact, creatures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
You're a millennial?
I'm a millennial.
Okay, who else is millennial?
Everybody at this table.
Yeah, if you were born before 96.
Yeah.
Oh, so am I the only Gen Z?
What year were you born?
97.
Oh, shit. Zoomer.
Older millennials are the children of baby boomers, while younger millennials tend to have Gen X parents. Gen X.
I'm right on the line.
I was going to
I can
say,
be considered both.
what year were you born?
80. I'm right
yeah,
on the line.
technically,
I'm on the swing. I'm on
Yeah.
the...
Yeah, depending on which chart you go on. Yeah, you could be Gen X.
A key difference between millennials and baby boomers is that the younger generations tend to value experiences over ownership.
Please read that again. I just want to let that sink in.
A key difference between millennials and baby boomers is that the younger generations tend to value experiences over ownership.
Holy shit.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, considering I lease and rent everything versus buy it.
Right.
But is that a choice, man? Or is that a learned behavior? Is that you feel what I'm looking
Yeah.
a little bit deeper.
That might be because of what they learned from their parents.
I was going to say, it feels like a combination of survival instinct and learned behavior.
Well, no, the reason I lease something is so I can always get something new. I'm not stuck with something. So I always have the experience. Like every
Right,
three.
you don't have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I could, but I've bought in cars before.
Right.
And it's been a pain in the ass. However, now I lease cars, so that way I can get that feeling of driving off the lot every 2 years.
The brand new experience.
Yeah.
You're experiencing
New car
over owning
smell, new technology. It's an experience.
Damn, no, you're right, bro. Wow.
Yeah.
That
They're
blows
all
my
about
fucking mind.
the experience rather than I want to own this house. They want to experience.
Oh, see, no,
Other
I
houses.
rent because I'm a millennial. I can't afford a house.
And then there's that.
I don't have $600,000 for a duplex.
Well, you know,
know.
what? Neither did most people's parents.
Right.
It's almost like they were just talking about in that article before about millennials and student debt.
Yes.
And like motherfuckers laugh at me now, but two things that when I was a child, it was heavily pushed on me early to get an education in fields that I had no interest in. Okay, seriously, I can't tell you how many fucking hundred educators, adults, and professionals and people came in and out of my life and said, "Hey man, you could speak good English. You should do, however many different things. You should go to school for a handful of different opportunities." And most of them I wasn't really interested in. And now I look now, I hope, none of the people that are watching that I went to school with, and I'm sure some of them are, a lot of them are unhappy. So I'm the oldest at the table here. So this might be something that you guys can maybe learn from.
I was just about to read something that speaks about this.
I just want to say that there's a lot of my peer group and a lot of guys I grew up with that when I was in my teens and 20s, I told them I wanted to be doing exactly what I'm doing now, and they laughed in my fucking face. You know what I mean? And I remember the educators and I remember the people in my life telling me I was going to die, if I didn't go to school, that I was going to blow it all if I didn't owe somebody some money. If I didn't build my credit the way that they thought, if I didn't purchase the products that they thought, and if I, and damned if the scientists and the mathematicians that I was educated by, when I asked them what were the chances of us actually having calculators in our pockets, they thought that was a fucking joke. And I can remember the math teachers at the time going, "What do you think? You're going to have a calculator in your pocket everywhere you go? You think you're going to be able to do your work, on a notepad?" And I told them, "You might." And they laughed at me.
And look at us now.
You know what I mean? We was one of the first families with computers on our street. It just speaks in volumes. And I'm not making fun of anybody, but it just goes to show you how not everything is so certain.
Right.
Studies have found that millennials and Gen Zs, they don't equate money with happiness because they grew up with baby boomer parents who were motivated by money and ownership and saw that purchasing material goods did not bring happiness for their families in the way they expected.
Wow. Damn.
And we were just talking about something similar to this in the car the other day.
Just wow.
So this just proves that the younger generations look at the older generations, what they went through.
And
And we don't want to do it. That's why we're lying flat. We're not doing...
And I'm always telling people in my peer group, stop blaming it on kids you never met before. Stop blaming it on these kids under 30 because you've never met any of them. People my age are critical, on a lot of young people. And a lot of folks in my peer group, they've never even met their children. They don't know what their children's interests are. They don't know what their kids are looking up online. So I'm like, it's easy to look back on somebody that's 14 years old and be critical. And sure, you were never 14 in 2024. But you were 14, though. That kid ain't never been 45. And that's where the distribution of responsibility starts to, fall into it starts to fall into the developed brain.
Yeah.
The responsibility of the person with the most developed brain.
Definitely.
Lexi, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's why the millennials and Gen Zers, that's why we're the biggest driving force of pushing and continuing going to live music and live music concerts and festivals and stuff, because the younger generations value those experiences rather than owning that venue or whatever, for example. 1/3 of live music fans who are millennials went to concerts. That's about 36%. And festivals about 32% over the last 12 months compared to the pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
More than half, which is 52% of millennials surveyed in the UTA study, purchased VIP tickets to 5 music events within the last 12 months. And another big takeaway to millennials, they're not afraid of traveling to go see a show.
See?
They are not afraid.
Yeah, everybody's talking about, I don't want to get out. I don't want to go anywhere.
Not millennials. 54% of respondents said they flew domestically to attend a concert or a festival.
Dude, that's awesome.
While 46% said they flew internationally. Okay? And then 67% of respondents said they would consider flying domestically, while 59% said they would consider an international flight to a live music event.
Damn.
So you won't see any of them at a local show.
Yo, that's
They'll
hilarious.
travel out of their house.
Yo, that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is interesting that they never mentioned the local music scene.
Zach, I love you for that. I ain't gonna lie.
Good catch.
That was like
Boom.
the baddest,
Good
that
catch.
was the reality of it. I like how you just crushed everybody's dreams.
Good job. Double high five.
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
exactly
put
why we had you on this program.
Standing O.
Oh, that was great.
You're the
No, I ain't
Zachy
gonna lie.
B, everybody.
I ain't gonna lie, that's the truth though. He hit that right on the head.
There's nothing more to say.
The B in Zachy B stands for Dream Crusher.
I'm not an English expert, but I'm almost certain that's not correct.
So here's a debate for you. Maybe
Okay.
Melissa can help us out with this one. Dudes on OnlyFans. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't know what about dudes on
So
OnlyFans?
no, there's this thing with a lot. So okay. So there's been a rising group of individuals who are tied to the OnlyFans opportunity. They're saying, you know what, this opportunity is only for a certain type of people are successful at it, and a lot of guys feel like it's time for them to try their hand at OnlyFans. And I say, why not?
I don't see what the problem is with that. I mean,
So some people,
it's not just for females.
Well, I guess the whole idea is that so the conversation is that the site is designed and caters, and leans one way, and there's not enough encouraging equal opportunity employment.
But there is, though, because literally anybody can make an OnlyFans account. Like anyone can try this business.
Here's
it's
the
a very
difference.
non-glass ceiling.
The reason why...
Well, we have all different age groups and people at the table. That's why I think this is interesting.
Well, here's the thing. Guys go way out of their way to beg and plead with women to send them nudes. So women have found a platform that they can sell and make money off these things that guys so desperately want, and that's cool. Well, guys at the same time will also send their dick pics unsolicited to every girl in their contact list. So are they really going to make any money on OnlyFans?
All the guys in the chat right now, don't lie. Don't lie.
We'll know if you're lying.
Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever sent a D pic to somebody without asking permission. Put a 1. Hold up a 1, Zach, if you've done it.
Unsolicited? I've never done that.
So,
I've always asked first.
So, okay, I'm going to tell you, maybe I'm lucky, but
Waiting music, sorry. For people to
I
put ones in the chat.
love you to bits and pieces, but you know what? I'm going to hear it. We're going to wind up trying to cut a reel, and I'm going to go, what's that noise?
And it's gonna be
Pop,
me.
pop, 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 pop. And every time you do that, you're kicking the table right under there. I can hear it. Where was I?
Dick pics.
So there's a reason why I've never sent a genital pic to anyone. I've never sent a picture, and so
Thanks for the cheer, Taz.
so thank you, Taz. Oh, I love Taz. Only Taz would understand this. Somebody's got to give me some sort of civility, and humanity. So I've never, and I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. There's a big reason I've never sent pictures of my genitals to people, because I have been, ever since the internet came out, I knew that I wasn't aware for sure of who was on the other end or who I was sending my junk to, if that was going to be the case. That's something I've always known. It doesn't matter who you're calling or who they send. Especially, you don't know if somebody's fucking kids got that phone.
True that.
Just think, this is common sense stuff. So just ever since the internet was around, I never have sent anyone a picture of my genitals ever, especially without permission, because I was always paranoid of who was going to receive it. Because I went to state prison. And you do not want to send the wrong person the pictures of your genitals. So I hope that just helped everybody out.
Knock, knock. It's the Attorney General.
But I hope that just became clear for everybody why I've always thought it was a terrible idea. Now, I realize in many situations, if I was to send a picture of a vagina, most people aren't going to call the police on me. But I understand the... So what do you think about this OnlyFans stuff for men? Should more men have OnlyFans accounts? Put a 1 in the chat.
Mind you, my business relies on this.
I think we make a lot more money doing a lot more disgusting shit than playing with our feet. When I think of harmful or hurtful things, I don't think of human body parts. So, people make money in this country with rape and murder and child trafficking and bombs and fucking weapons and everything else. The last thing I'm worried about is somebody showing me their chest. But do you think more guys should be able to show their chest? Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Thank you, Taz. Another 100 cheers.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Taz. Somebody gets it.
He supports it.
He said Will knows what time it is.
See? All right, I know I don't want to put a lawyer on retainer.
That's just expensive.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you want to send your body parts to another person, you better have a lawyer on deck. You guys probably never thought of that stuff before. That's the stuff I think about. The internet, people forget what the internet was. Like, if you just read, why was the internet invented? You'll realize it was a weapon.
Yeah, it was created by the military.
Right, so thank you. So any time that somebody starts behaving strangely on the internet, I remember what the internet was originally. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, it's a fucking espionage weapon. I think I'll mind my business. That's why you have never, ever seen me. You have never seen, ever. You've never seen me say or address any personal issue ever online. Think about it. Think about as much as you see me and Melissa online throughout the years, throughout the last 15 years. Think of how much people have seen me and Melissa online. Think of all the different posts. Think of all the different events. Think of all the different pictures. Think of all the different conversations we've had. We have never, ever, it's a rule we have never made a public personal post. Never. No posts about our dinner, our families, nothing. No rumors, no hearsay. And that's because we remember what the internet's used for. We've never forgotten. Just everyone else forgot. Everyone else think it's their counselor. They think it's fucking playtime with the kids. Show the kids in the kiddie pool. Argue with your family. Put out your business about your relationship, your sexuality. They think it's everything else but what it was invented for. That's why you can go back as far as you want in my timeline. You can go back as far as you want. You'll never, ever catch me. Ever, ever, ever. You'll never catch me saying a personal, a private, or a secret post online. Never. Because I've never forgot what the internet is actually used for. Isn't that fucking crazy? The entire world forgot what it was. They think it's their menu. They think it's their counselor. They think it's their dating app. It's everything. It's shopping. But I never forgot. It's a fucking weapon. And after it was a weapon, it turned into a fucking mall. So So two things I know about the internet. It's a weapon and it's the mall. And anybody that comes online to deal with their personal issues, anyone that comes online to deal or show off their private issues or to deal with personal matters, they're only looking for attention. Just remember that. Anybody sitting on this weapon, anybody sitting on this advertising machine and pretending to be personal, they're lying to you. They just want attention.
Another 100 from Taz. Thank you.
Anybody that comes on the internet, remember this, everybody at home, forever and ever and ever. Anybody that ever comes on this fucking economic weapon, anybody that hangs out on these things and hovers over personal or private issues, anybody that comes on the internet or social media and presents their life to you, presents a post like it's personal, or they need you to be in their private lives, just remember, if they came and did that on social media, they're not looking for you to participate in their private lives. They're looking to exploit your attention. Just remember I told you that. That's every fucking one of you. Go post a picture about your fucking dinner. Next. Go share your feelings with everybody. Suckers. All right.
Bands.
Oh.
That's where we left off.
So, I did want to say, I'm really happy to be playing the Opus Blizzard Bash.
Yes!
I know, that's gonna be sick.
You guys like Dead by Wednesday? Put a 1 in the chat if you like Dead by Wednesday. You know what I like about Dead by... Yeah, me too. You know what I like about Dead by Wednesday?
Well, that counts as a 2.
This is 1 and 1. 1. 1.
We gotta tip our hats for Dead by Wednesday, because like in terms of when they talk about in terms of successful local and regional heavy metal bands, what band is more successful, especially in our definition? What bands are really as successful as Dead by Wednesday in terms of like New England bands? Seriously, they've got a great catalog. They've kept a really decent lineup for quite some time. And the reason why I say that is because the longer you keep a lineup, the better they're going to be. I mean, I don't think people really realize that. If you got some guys in your group and they only been in a year or two, you know what I mean? How much can you learn in a year? You know, how much can you perfect? I don't know.
Yeah, because basically you have every time you get a new member, you got to start over some way, shape, or form.
Right, and it might take you another 6 months or a year just getting back to basics.
Right.
You know. But like DBW is dope, dude. Because like, what do bands say that they want to do when they become bands? They're like, we want to throw our own shows and headline our own shows. Check. That's Dead by Wednesday.
They want to tour across the pond.
Check. That's Dead by Wednesday.
Have a dope catalog.
That's Dead by Wednesday.
I mean, when I got into music, it was to get chicks, but that's...
I wouldn't put it past them, you know? I mean, they've been doing it for this long. So that's funny you say that, because whatever they're doing it right. Because whatever they're doing, they've found a reason to continue to do it. And I think that that's the most successful thing you can do as a band. And I don't really feel like Sepsiss is like super successful. But if there was one category that I'd say that we have been successful in, like hands down, it's survival, dude. Like forget about the music industry and the Billboard charts and the Grammys and playing alongside all of your favorite celebrities and showing everybody the flyers, you know, with you and all the people that you wanted to play with and share the stage with growing up. What about, like, if you're in a band and you made it through 2020 and 2021, you deserve like a round of applause. Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a New England band, it's hard to live out here as it is. Like rent. If you live in the greater Boston area, you know, New England area, or north of Boston, it's hardship. People live in check to check like they are all over the country. You know what I mean? And being in a band, everybody knows it's not lucrative. So being in it, you know, people that are doing what we're doing, really love doing it. And they're also, for whatever it is, they're finding a reason to come back and do it. So like bands like Dead by Wednesday really get highlighted with me, because when I think of, not just what I think of success, but when I talk to other bands and I survey people in the industry and I go, hey, it's 2024. What does success mean today in the music business? Because before it was different when I was a kid. That's changed. Much like I said, by the time we learn about it and can write some decent laws for it, it's changed.
Right.
So we're in the new music industry again. You know what I mean? There's been like three or four.
Yeah, third time this year.
Right. This is like the third music industry this quarter. But like when we signed our record deal, looking back on it, it's so easy for me to go, oh, wow. When we signed that, they knew that the record industry was going to change. They were counting on us. So just the same way that Spotify is counting on as many human beings possible that can subscribe, they need them to subscribe to that. Our record label needed as many people as they possibly can to take the bait until it burned down to the fucking ground. After we signed, things are always interesting, but after we had a record deal and after we came out with the record, there's all these people that came out of the woodworks and out of the cracks telling me how terrible our record label was. I was like, where the fuck were all these people?
Why didn't you say anything before? Like, why did you wait until...
You know what I mean? Like, we signed a record deal, there was congratulations. I mean, everybody knows. It goes on the...
They're so great. You're going to do so great. And then...
Of course, we got shelved, and everybody comes back and like, I could have told you, those people are fucking terrible.
Well, that information would have been useful to me.
So that's why I come on and tell everybody how terrible Spotify is. So later on, they can say, they'll say, pinch me, wake me up. Didn't somebody say that this was a bad idea?
Yes.
Yes, someone said. Just remember that.
Someone wasn't people-pleasing you.
Dead by Wednesday, we'll be playing with them at the legendary Toad's place. I'm really excited.
January 13th.
Yeah, man. They're awesome. If you haven't seen Dead by Wednesday, if you haven't liked them, if you're a friend of mine, go like the fucking page. That's what I'm saying. If you're a friend of mine, I'm not asking you to because you're a friend of mine. I'm telling you, go to Dead by Wednesday and follow the page. That's what you need to do.
Thank you.
Because that's what I'm asking you to do.
Thanks.
Yeah. In other news, I've heard two people ask me this question this week. Is Lexi performing again with Sepsiss this year? So we only have a couple shows left. The answer is yes. Lexi will be performing again with the band. So if you want to see Lexi perform, then you got to get out to a show. This is what I will say. This is our merch girl.
Hi, I'm the merch girl.
She's not a trained musician.
At all.
She is learning. I'm going to say this, not because you need to be protected.
Okay.
Let me get this off my chest.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because me and Melissa are the ones that read the comments, and we get a lot of comments about you guys.
Okay.
So, you have a Scream video on the page. It's got 70,000 fucking views on it. Okay? It's a great video. You have another one, too, with Taylor from Dead Reckoning that's got a lot of views on it, too. But for those of you who have been following the Lexi story, Lexi was not a musician when she got here. She was not a streamer. She was not a podcaster. She was not a drummer. She wasn't any of these things. She was the merch girl.
Yeah, just the merch girl.
She folded t-shirts.
That was it. And said hi. and danced at the table.
Right. In 2019, Melissa asked Lexi if she wanted to be a co-streamer on Melissa's new idea at the time called Swarm TV, which to this day is every Sunday at 7 o'clock. Lexi joined Melissa on Swarm TV and changed history forever, kicking me off of Swarm TV.
You kicked them off?
It was kind of natural. It was like natural selection. It
was
just
like
they
a
hit it. It
mutual-
was
It was a mutual. It was an idea and then another idea, and it ended up working.
they had their own thing going on, and then that ended my live streaming career abruptly in 2019. That's why no one has ever seen me ever since to this program.
To be fair, you're a better podcaster than you are a streamer.
I thought so too. Thank you. I agree. I can't read this. I already tried. I tried to read the comments. I can't do it. It's too much stimulation.
At least you tried, though. You put in the effort.
I did, and then I turned it off. But that's Lexi's story in a nutshell. And now, so some people have seen your reels of you screaming, and some people are mean, and they say how terrible she is, and that she's a bad screamer, and everything. And for a while there, me and Melissa were trying to, like, she's our friend. We're like trying to defend her. Like, excuse me, like, this is her first time doing it. A few years ago, before she hurt her arm, she had picked up some drumsticks and she had started to play rudiments. And people, as they are on the internet, are judgmental or whatever. And of course, me and Melissa would jump in and try to defend everybody and say, hey, she's just learning it. But just goes to show you, we live in a time now where if you want to try something new, it's terrifying to do it on social media. That's all I gotta say. So I've reminded people throughout this journey, Melissa has reminded people over and over again, that this is somebody who's trying something new. So somebody might see a Scream video and they don't realize this is our merch girl. Like, does your merch girl scream? No, she doesn't. Hit me up in the comments. If your merch girl screams, then there you go.
I mean, I guess technically mine does too.
Right.
Zach, you're awesome.
Thank
I have
you.
the coolest friends. Thank
But-
you guys.
So, for those of y'all that see Lexi on stage, cheer her on, man. If you see somebody doing it, if you see your friend picking up guitar, or if you have a friend that's trying to play saxophone, don't be a dick. Cheer them on.
Right?
If they're terrible right now, stick by them, and maybe when they get good, you'll be the first one, to be with them to celebrate their success.
Also, remember the first time you tried something? Were you fucking, the best in the world? No, you probably weren't.
And I think I get it too. Like, we have a couple followers and people, on social media, people expect perfection and supreme quality. But I think people get lost in that. What makes this band cool, what makes this page or this podcast cool is that we make mistakes.
Yeah.
And if anything's going to keep people coming back and interested, it's going to be us not being perfect, because it's going to open a door and allow people to give us the feedback that we need to make adjustments. Don't be mean to the girl. Just give some feedback, and say, hey, this worked. Try this, But she's not going to stop doing it because she loves doing it. Just the same way that me and Zach sounded terrible, when we first picked up the guitar. And when we learn new songs, we don't sound good.
Right?
When the band's learning new songs, we don't sound good.
Yeah, we got to practice at it,
So, I know that a lot of social media pages and bands are used to putting out perfection. And they'll sit there and do the same thing over and over again until they get a perfect take. Not here. That's what makes this place unique, is that I might play something on guitar that's not perfect. And that drives the conversation to the page, and it drives the conversation and kind of, it unwraps the band layer by layer and what makes us real and who we really are. You see? There's already enough artists out there that are putting out perfect stuff, and you know nothing about them. So that's why we do that.
Right?
We don't want to put out perfect screams. And then that way you can see her get better
Exactly.
over time.
Be a part of the journey.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Plus, she looks so happy up there.
Right. Right. And if you don't like it, if you don't want to cheer her on, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Unfollow.
Oh, that's fine too. Everybody get your tickets to Swarmy Fest. It's in 2 weeks. It's at Club Jewel. You guys already know there's 11 bands. You're not going to miss it. If you have not had an opportunity to see the new Sepsiss lineup, this is a no fucking brainer. We're pulling out all the stops. We got a killer set for you guys. I'm so excited to play on that stage, because it's going to show like where me, you, Melissa, and Rob have come.
Right. I was going to say, because the last time we played there, it was just the four of us.
It was just the four of us. And I think I got probably the best compliment I got all season long that day, because I was really concerned about the layers of sound. And I just remember Alex pulling us to his side and just saying, wow, I was really surprised that it was as thick
Right.
as you guys made it. It was one thing or another if we were going through the logistics, but the one thing I was really had my mind on is like how many transients were missing and
Right.
how much action or what we needed to do.
Right.
This is before you and I had the setup we do now.
No, that was our first time using that setup. Yeah, because that was our second show.
Oh, you're right, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
the first one we didn't even
I've known Zach for 40 years.
Right?
It does feel like it's been a long
It
time.
does. Wow, that's weird.
Time
Yeah.
flies.
And can I tell everybody at home, I don't know what it is, man. I don't feel, you get toys and you lose interest. I have not lost any interest in the fucking Head Rush. I love this amplifier. As soon as this is over with, I'm gonna go play it. Like that. I mean, I wonder. Like, people might wonder, and they have, because they've asked me. They're like, "Have you played with your Head Rush today?" And I'm, of course. People have asked me that.
I was gonna say, I feel like you play with it every day.
I do. I play with it every fucking day. It's so fun that when I turn it on, I have all these plans, right? Then I'm going to do all this creative, cool shit on this amplifier. I'm going to tweak this and work on that. And I turn it on. And as soon as I start having fun, I become distracted from working on anything. It's so fun and it sounds so good that I wind up loading up the machine, and it sounds good enough just the way it is. I don't want to do anything.
Right? You don't want to mess it up.
Right? It's just like, fucking A, this is great. What more can I ask for?
Right.
It's crazy. TikTok adds new spooky voice effects to Halloween. Does anybody give a shit?
What?
Spooky TikTok voice. Does anybody want to run over there and do that?
No.
God, who cares?
That voice has already been exploited.
Right? Well, no, it's a new one apparently.
So yeah, they're adding new spooky voices. Let's try it after.
Let's not.
Okay. I love this.
I'd rather watch The Exorcist.
Okay.
What?
Melissa knows what I'm talking about.
They all want to watch The Exorcist. I told them they were on their own.
Again, we've never watched it before. We have to watch it.
You've never seen The Exorcist?
No, we've never seen it.
Oh.
So we want to see it.
Yo, so that Let's Go Fuck It thing just went off, and it triggers. It automatically triggers, like, I feel like we need to.
Dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
All right, get ready for this, Melissa. The Music Health Alliance is offering free healthcare advocacy and resources to members of the music community during the open enrollment window. She's not saying anything. So, the MHA, it says its advocacy work has saved more than $120 million in health care costs and helped musicians secure life-saving resources, medical procedures, mental health care, senior care support, diagnostic, prescriptions, and more. Currently, the MHA is offering free appointments for individuals, groups, and seniors across the country to ensure that they get some pretty kick-ass musical health care.
Cool.
What y'all think about that?
Wait, so the MHA is like a healthcare?
It is a health care option for musicians.
That's actually pretty cool.
I didn't know that they had that
That's
for
why
musicians.
That's why we have the Honeycomb Hideout.
That's fucking so cool.
Do you know how many people can't stand this podcast? Because I say stuff like that. I say, hey, musicians have health care. And they go, oh, William, this is terrible.
No, that's awesome. That means I can quit working.
Well, not
There's
just
a
quite
benefit.
yet. I think, well, yes. There's probably a line.
Oh, you have to like qualify and shit.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Relaying the information.
But it exists. It's a start.
Right.
That's really interesting. That's actually really cool.
I mean, I'm sure it's...
Hey, I think it's really cool because I didn't know that musicians had this option.
Right. I'm sure I'm sure whoever the founders of this company, I'm sure they're strangling small animals in a basement somewhere.
But they had a good idea for the startup. They
Right?
were musicians probably.
What
and
they
were
do
like,
in their own time
That's
doesn't
what I'm
concern me.
Right, I'm sure they beat their children. They care about the musicians, though.
Right?
They want to make sure that they
No,
have
I don't know
healthcare.
that that's true. I'm just saying that for fun.
But there's an option. That's really
Oh,
good.
Lexi, look. Here's
What?
one for you. The globalization of influencing in marketing.
Oh, cool.
Do you want that?
Yeah, I'm opening it.
Take a look.
I keep thinking that this is a different article because of the website that it's on.
No, and this is awfully boring.
What, RedTube?
Oh.
No.
But this is just a little snippet.
Yeah. So the ad industry owes its existence to post-war robust GDP growth, the baby boomer generation, and tech innovations from Silicon Valley. The mad men, the creative visionaries, and the effectiveness pioneers from the 60s to the early aughts created standards of the art and science of iconic brand building.
Yes, and honestly, I just wanted to say, the reason why we chose that small piece there is because that's all changing.
Yeah. It's shifting.
Because the people that the iconic brand builders are dying. It's not weird. I mean, this has happened over and over again in civilization.
There are 6 things that are changing currently.
Can we get those?
Yeah. Number 1 is from Western middle class to global middle class.
I was saying this earlier.
The reality is that emerging markets, particularly in Asia and the Middle East, are poised to outpace Western-led GDP growth, according to the latest research from Homi Karas, senior researcher at the Brookings Institute and negotiator for the UN's Global Agreement on the Sustainable Development. By 2030, the global middle class is expected to swell from 1.5 BN to 3.5 BN, with approximately 70% to 80% hailing across Asian countries. These markets are giving rise to their own version of the boomer generation of consumers and trendsetters, which are already reshaping the global business landscape. It's expected that by 2030, the middle class of China and India combined will be then that of the US and Europe combined in 2015.
Okay, and that's all really cute. But the reason why I chose that is because when we use these products, okay, you're sitting in wherever you're at, in Milwaukee, in New Hampshire, in Wisconsin, whatever you're doing, and we tend to imagine ourselves always in the nucleus of the story because that's how the products have optimized themselves over the years for you to feel that way. But most of you, at least here in this country, haven't realized most of the people that use this technology don't look like us. They don't live as your next door neighbor. You understand? The most people that spend their time on meta products are not the people that you see at the grocery store. And this is the first time that you've ever fucking heard that. Mm. That's what's fucking scary. What's scary is for some of you, she's reading that now. For some of you, this is news. That's the scary part. There's a whole bunch more we can get into regarding that. It's not the point. The point is none of you know what the fuck we're talking about. That's the point. The point that when we're on social media, we're always pointing out to the big rock stars on Facebook, okay? That you feel like a rock star because you're surrounded by the limited amount of people and audience members on that particular platform, that it feels like you're popular. It feels like you've broken through that glass ceiling. It feels like you're viral. So when an average person goes, oh, I got 100,000 plays, that feels like success. But in the greater scheme of things, that's only because the algorithms prioritize and cater to the largest group of people that are responsible for putting out the largest amount of content. The largest amount of content that the rock and roll community puts out on, say, Facebook, the largest amount of that independent rock and roll content, the largest amount of that content is put out by the smallest group of people. It just feels like that's a large group of people because that small group of people is responsible for putting out a large amount of content. That's why it feels like if you're a fan of Sepsiss, you're probably a fan of Fate Destroy. You're probably a fan of Blood to the Heart. That's because we're the Facebook bands. We're not the music industry bands.
You put out the most of your content primarily on Facebook.
Us,
because
Dying
you do
Oath,
that.
we're all the Facebook bands. And a lot of these bands, they want to be industry bands. A lot of the Facebook bands at our level are all trying to be industry bands. And the products, the corporations, the developers, they know. Remember I said at the beginning of the conversation, they know who's responsible for putting out the most content. There is no other rock and roll bands that go live 2 times a week on Facebook. We're it. There is no other podcasts or Facebook bands that go live on a schedule, that provide programming like we know. That's why we know we can do it every week. Because we know no one else will. Because we know the very art of streaming depends on you doing it and keeping a schedule. We know that's something musicians won't do. So we know how to make companies cater to us because we know that we can rise to the top of the food chain by being a big fish in a small pond. Because we know that us, Fate Destroyed, all the Facebook bands that you see on Facebook are responsible for the bands you see on Facebook. The band, when you know, saying people that hang out on Twitter, they feel like Twitter's the place of action. People who love Twitter swear by it. That's why the kids are growing up with TikTok. You know what I'm saying? They love TikTok. They swear by it. That they do all their shopping there. They get their emails there. They tell their gossip there. It's one-stop shopping. They don't need to go anywhere else. And that's why you feel like a celebrity on TikTok because the greatest amount of people on TikTok are audience members. The greatest amount of people that are on Facebook are consumers, not creators. The smallest amount of people on Facebook are creators. And even smaller than that are musicians. The smallest amount of professional musicians that you all see put out the greatest amount of professional music on Facebook. We're the Facebook bands. And I know they don't like that, but we are. We represent those numbers, whether I like it or not. It's not like that's not my opinion. That's not, when you search for those bands, we pop up with them. This is where people go to consume Sepsiss. This is where people go to consume, who else do our fans like? Living Dead Girl. This is where they go. Instagram, they go to Facebook. Fans of Living Dead Girl go to Instagram. Fans of remember the old trap days when they used to have the big trap arguments? Their fans were found on Twitter. It was easy to find, you know what I mean? You know, that's why you see some bands will only cater to certain companies. Because those companies fall within the realm of behaviors and tools that band believes in. Much like we believe in Facebook. Facebook don't want to let go of Sepsiss. They believe in us from the beginning.
Makes a good partnership.
We're a great partnership.
Hell yeah.
So
works.
that's what it's about. We got to get to this thing.
Okay.
I don't even know if we can really get to it.
I don't know.
Do we want to really get to this? Because this is so fun.
I feel like we need more. I feel like for us to
This is
really
so
unpack
good.
it the way that we want to, we'll need more time. So I feel like we
All
should
right,
do
you
it.
want to
next
read
week.
want to read this Live Nation one right here, and that'll be a precursor into next.
Okay, so read the article.
Stay tuned next week for.
Right. So if you're not familiar with the Live Nation ongoing program that they have, it's called, I almost called it Road to the Swarm.
On the Road Again.
It's called On the Road Again.
Ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so Live Nation's new On the Road Again initiative enlists the help of country legend Willie Nelson to help budding artists playing at small venues. Budding artists playing at small venues. The initiative only lasts through the end of December 2023.
Isn't that like a month from now?
Hold on.
I'm going to repeat this sentence.
Hold on. So for all of you wondering when they dropped this Live Nation thing, and everybody's like, what's the scam? So if you guys didn't know, Live Nation's basically said that from here on out, if you are a Live Nation venue, see what I'm doing this? If you are a Live Nation bunny, rabbit, hopping ass venue, hopping it along, if you partnered up with Live Nation, you get an artist stipend of $1,500 and no merch cuts. Imagine what they're saying. They're saying they're going to pay bands and they're not going to steal? You ain't never heard of such a thing.
So there
When
must
the
be-
fuck has anybody ever paid a band and not stolen from them? Melissa, come on. We've been in rock and roll 15 years. Ain't nobody ever paid us without stealing at the same time. Usually it's one or the other. But when they're paying you, usually they're stealing from you. And when they're...
in some way, shape, or
Right,
form.
that's what I'm saying.
I can't wait for us to unpackage this next week.
All I want to say is that notice that they introduced, and it's hard for me, I'm not even talking to everybody at home, but Melissa, they introduced this idea at the end of the touring season. Why would they introduce, well, say, okay, we're going to finally pay bands that are going out on tour. Hey, let's start this package program at the end of tour season. If you wanted to help bands on tour, wouldn't you just start the package at the beginning of the next tour season?
What's the catch?
Why would you start trying to help bands get paid at the end of the tour season? Who the fuck are you helping? So it's like, then you have to think, just based on what you just said, it's only 3 months. So if you're not on tour now until December, you're not getting paid.
Huh.
So Live Nation said, okay, we're going to come up with a program, a temporary program that's going to pay $1,500 to artists at the end of the touring season that on the rare occasion are touring between the months of September and December.
Motionless in White.
Well, anybody with a four-wheel drive, no, but we got a four-wheel drive tour bus. I'm just saying, that's just one of many questions that we'll have to ask next week. Lexi's gonna go crazy.
I can't wait to talk about this.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.